Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The build-up, it rolls on for this much-anticipated fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder this weekend in Los Angeles. And there's certainly a bundle of news to get to, and excuse me, I do have a cold, second cold in a month, you wouldn't believe it. But we've got the reported purses to get to, Tyson Fury on counterpunching, footwork, and making Wilder look silly. And of course, you know we're going to talk about Deontay Wilder's desire to experience pregnancy. Strap that baby in. Let's go.
Baby, 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 oh, I thought you'd always be mine, mine. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So this baby talk, it really did catch me off guard. It's not often that you're deep into fight week and the news agenda just switches to talk of one of the fighters expressing a desire to experience pregnancy. I mean, that is really sort of out there stuff. But we'll get to the quotes and then on to some thoughts, because Wilder's somewhat shocking comments have managed to actually get some attention back on him instead of Fury. So talking to Gareth A. Davis for an interview for The Telegraph, Davis describes Wilder saying he likes nothing more than spending time with his 7 children, before dropping in what he terms as a surprising admission. And this is Wilder's quotes: "If they ever invent something that will allow a man to carry a child, I want to sign up for it. I really do. I would say to my girl, let's have a baby and I'll carry it. I would love to experience what women go through to bring life into this world. That's why women are the most powerful thing on earth. When we've got people who bleed for 7 days every month, come on man, but I really feel I'm a mother goose. I kiss my kids 6 or 7 times a day. They are all individuals. I love them." Certainly some of that, I wasn't expecting to hear that in fight week, and when I first read it, I was thinking, what the And the way Davis outlines it, it was just kind of casually dropped in there like it was the, most normal thing in the world to sort of say that sort of thing. Just voluntarily, given up by Wilder himself. And it's certainly different to say the least. And it appears to be some sort of tribute to women, but rather it comes off as some weirdo shit instead. And in my view, that's just, some of that, it's just, but maybe my mind isn't as expanded as Deontay Wilder's, because wanting to carry a child has never crossed my mind, but clearly it has his. Very interested to hear your view of, is what he's saying, does that resonate with you? Has that sort of thing ever crossed your mind? Yeah, good luck to him. But these quirky comments, they have managed to break the news cycle up a bit. I mean, rightly or wrongly, his statements have got more people talking about him. Because if we actually look at what's been happening with the general coverage for the past couple of weeks, it's been basically all Tyson Fury comeback related stuff, reporting some of his brash comments. He's been dominating the headlines for this fight. And Wilder, to some extent, has been a bit of a passenger for a while now. And sure, he's been saying, things about his opponent, the fight in general, but it's most of the same old tired material that, he wheels out and, we've been hearing for some time. It's a lot of canned sort of stuff and it's very rehearsed. So this pregnancy talk, it is a bit of a shot in the arm media-wise, and from what I can see online, a lot of people are talking about this. There's quite a fair few perplexed by his words. But this will reach some people that necessarily wouldn't have actually heard about this fight. It's probably gone a bit wider than just the sports pages. And we shouldn't also discount the possibility that Deontay Wilder is trying to seed a couple of things in the media here as part of a strategy to try and get in Tyson Fury's head. I mean, that's what Fury's been doing, and no doubt Fury will hear about Wilder's pregnancy comments, wanting to carry a child if he could. And probably, like many of us, will be wondering, what's it all about? But certainly we've been seeing Fury trying to play mental games in the run-up to the fight, saying that he's tricked Wilder into taking this fight, and Wilder's bitten off more than he can chew. And he's really trying to emphasize that he picked this fight, that he cherry-picked Deontay Wilder, that Wilder is the one who's bitten off more than he can chew. But I have a feeling that in terms of both guys, I don't think we've seen or heard the last of what could be some more potentially strange, who knows, and grandiose comments to come in the rest of Fight Week. But moving on, how much these two fighters are getting for this fight, it's been a closely guarded secret, but the Telegraph, it's reporting that Wilder stands to earn $14 million while Fury is expected to pocket $10 million. It is unclear if that's a minimum guarantee with a pay-per-view upside on top of that. Probably would be, but who knows. But the money, it's in the ballpark of what a lot of pundits have been predicting. But Tyson Fury, meanwhile, he's been talking about donating his purse, telling the Irish Mirror, "I'm going to give it to the poor. I'm going to build homes for the homeless. I don't really have much use for it. I'm not interested in becoming a millionaire or a billionaire. I'm a boxer, not a businessman, and I'll probably go down the same route as every other boxer, skint at the end of it all. You can't take it with you, so I might as well do something with it and help out people who can't help themselves." I guess if this is legit, then it's certainly a commendable thing to do, but I do wonder if it's a bit of a wind-up here, because Tyson Fury has, fed a load of porkies to the media over the years, and a while back, he said similar things about, you can't take money with you, and he didn't need money, and all this sort of stuff, and he was broke, and all this sort of stuff down on his luck, that he had spent it all. So, and then he revealed afterwards that it was a big joke, and, but that was after the story had been published, and it was very cringeworthy, and it wasn't a good look for Fury. And if he says he's going to build homes for the homeless and never does it, certainly I think people would hold that against him as well. But whether he follows through, whether he does it, time will tell. But certainly if it'd be a great gesture if he spent his reported $10 million purse on building homes for the homeless. And Tyson Fury, he's been talking about the prospect of counterpunching Deontay Wilder in this fight, should the WBC champion load up like he does, but miss. So he's told BoxingScene.com, he's more vulnerable to being stopped when he throws big punches. All big punches, in order to get power in their shots, must put maximum leverage in them. And if he doesn't connect, they expose themselves to being hit back with even harder punches. And that's why 99% of big punchers can't take one back, because they're loading up. It doesn't necessarily mean they've got bad chins, but when you put everything into a punch and you take one back, it's almost like a double impact. So that's how I compare them. This could well be more mind games from Fury here. Plant the seed that he's going to counter Wilder if he loads up and misses. Give him something to think about in the ring, and that could lead to, Wilder throwing less punches. And Fury wants that, and he also wants to take away Wilder's jab, because if he takes the jab away, there's going to be fewer right hands, and Wilder often sets up his right hand off the jab, quite a bit of the time. And Fury, he told Gareth A. Davies on the Fighting Spirits podcast, you can find that on SoundCloud, that he's aiming to completely embarrass Wilder.
It's going to be more humiliating performance than against Klitschko. Everyone says, he wouldn't do that against a big puncher, put his hands behind his back and play up. But I did against Klitschko, and I will against Wilder.
Fury, he's also weighed in on Wilder's footwork, saying, it's terrible. I've seen better footwork on a lunchtime dinner lady. But his power is an equaliser. He does have an equaliser because he's a massive puncher. And as we've seen, he can end a fight from round 1 to round 12. But as long as I'm focused for the full duration of the fight, I don't see him landing them big punches at all. Certainly that's a bold statement from Fury. And Fury, he's also taken a crack at Deontay Wilder's nickname. And you can see here with all these different bits and pieces, he's really trying to attack Wilder on several fronts here. Get in his mind, really sort of try to tear strips off him, trying to get him doubting himself and such. It is, part of the mental warfare that Tyson Fury enters these fights with. But he said of the nickname, if I can't be the best, then I don't want to be the rest. Second place ain't for me, and third place definitely ain't for me. But Deontay Wilder is happy to come in top 3. That's why he calls himself the Bronze Bomber, because of his bronze medal in the Olympics. I'd throw that bronze medal in the bin, because I didn't win the gold. More verbal sparring for Fury, and no doubt more to come. What do you make of it all? Apologies for the cold. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.
If you want even more boxing content, come and join me on Patreon. Every week on a Sunday, I drop a new video on something topical or thought-provoking from the heavyweight division, ranging from rankings, the business of boxing, the false economy of deluded fanboys, the twists and turns in the division, to assessments of fighters and their statements. I hope to see you there, and for more information go to patreon.com/boxing squared. The address is on screen now.